Hello, good evening. Welcome into the second night of the first week of the top 8, the ARMA Team League Season 3. With me today, we've got Corak. Welcome.
Thank you. Looking forward to some good play.
We hope so. Just going through the stats here. So we touched on this at the end of the stream yesterday, but with Uni Fan Club taking a double fourth yesterday, they're in a bit of dire straits here. So they'll be looking to pick up some well-needed points tonight. Would be a good start.
Big gap here for Orasan as well, but not quite the same as Uni Fan Club. At this point, would need over 420 to make it, but there's still time. Especially any situation where you're playing with Oka, Emily Rules, Red Dora, the scores can get big quickly.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Even with the tables that we had yesterday, we had a positive 76, a positive 81. Like, it's doable, but yeah, it's gonna be rough. But yeah, so tonight we will be watching Table 1 and Table 2. Couldn't figure out a way to see every team this week, but we'll get that sorted for next week for sure. I'll make sure to keep everything balanced as well as I can. But yeah, we're looking forward to Table 1. At least I know has started on time, so that's good. Let's pull that up now. So yeah, so this one we've got, if I pull up my notepad here, we've got the teams in first, second, and fourth playing, and then Uni Star Fan Club, who is in eighth, obviously. So could see some reshuffling depending on how the match goes.
For sure, this is actually a big chance for Uni Fan Club that these are the people you need to be taking points from. Either it's the top 4, so if you don't take it from the top 4, someone else is going to have to, and that someone else is already going to be your competition. So go for the wins right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, with that aggressive Oka and the Red Doors and everything, yeah, this game especially, big chance for you to close the gap. And I think even the next game they're in is Tile Dreaming, Itsu Anko. It's like the other end of it, so you've got the chance to close the gap to the teams directly ahead of you. So two good games here to make a big dent in the standings for Uni Fan Club for sure.
Definitely out of chances, but two very different dynamics. The first one, where you're just taking a shot to try and pull the big groups down so you have more space, and then the second game where you're trying to at least pull back closer to your competition. So two very different dynamics, but both important for sure.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they end up playing it. I know this specific player was the one they pulled out to end the season with as well, Unifan 69. I believe that was them. Numbers. But yeah.
Playing back to back like this could be a little rough.
You can obviously get that sort of, if you do have a rough first Hanchan, it can really affect your mental state going into the next one.
Exactly. And I've found just in general, having a good result doesn't necessarily make you feel better about the second one, but having a bad first result will definitely mess you down the line.
Yep.
That may just be me personally, but a lot of Mahjong players seem to say the same thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's that sort of expression I've seen a bit of recently where, where you win a game and you feel nothing, but you lose a game and the day's ruined sort of feeling.
Yeah, there's an old saying about gambling in general is real gamblers aren't the ones that are addicted to winning, they're the ones that are addicted to losing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know even from my older days in poker, you've always had that sort of feeling where, oh, I'm due, I just need to get that one win in and you can make it everything back.
There's always hope, and as we said here, I think storylines start off reverse, or will any fan club make a push back towards the top four? And we start off here. That's a pretty nice starting hand. A Dora, pretty good shapes. Could also connect the 3-pin Dora. On the right, we have decent shapes. A nice Onko of 8-mon. A few pairs elsewhere. Meaty Toy down the line. Across the way, we have a Haku pair. Is that what? Chitoy Ishanten already? Yeah, it's pretty nice. You don't really want to be waiting on the 4 or the 2, though. But if you can get the draw one of those, wait on the 9-mon, you're perfectly fine with that. On the left, pair of the North, so you can just call the Yakuhai. Other than that, not much here, but you do have the Penchan that would accept Dora.
Yeah. All these hands are looking really good. The 9 that's just come out from Rariel, from our toyman here, taking the North instead, which actually is going to end up hurting their chances for Chitoy.
Yeah, so two of those locked up are going to be very hard. Kind of floating between a regular hand and a Chitoy hand. When you have this type of Peiko shape, it's not rare. The issue here is going to be, even in best case, you're still going to be stuck on the Haku pair, the Tuso pair, and the 6-pin pair, and I don't see how you get rid of any of those.
No. But yeah, it looks like they are... Well, I mean, the 7-mon didn't really connect to the Peiko shape, but... yeah, I'll have to see how they want to play it, I guess. They've made some pretty aggressive cuts early, though.
Interesting choice here for Nano. How aggressively do you want to approach the Itsu and So? And kind of floats the option. I wonder about the 4-pin cut earlier, though. I definitely like keeping those tiles around Dora, especially on the potential for a 3-4-5 Sanchoku that this hand really looks like.
Yep, for sure. Meanwhile, yeah, our Hapon here on the Kamicha got a couple more Ryamans, completed the 1-2 pin Penchan, picking up a Dora.
Yeah, filling in the Penchan really helps this hand. You're just looking to call and be done with to get your 2,000 get out of here. Because, I mean, of course, if you get to Riichi, great, but it's turn 7. You've only completed one shape, so you feel you're probably behind. And now you have another Dora. What do you do with it? Kind of floating it here, maybe hoping something connects to it later, but it's really hard to use.
Yep. Nano got to Ishanten with a Manzu Sanmenchan weight.
Be the pawn for Toy Dora on the right for Unifan.
Yeah, very good hand. And yeah, everyone's opened up at this point.
That's generally what you expect to happen in this situation, is one person says, okay, I've had enough, and everyone else is like, oh, I better speed up and catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting decision here, 5. Hapon on the left, cutting the 2-pin. Doesn't want to throw that Dora later, but this will massively slow the hand down. I don't think you have time to do that.
No, not
Although, if you just draw the 2-4 like that, that'll fix your blocks nicely.
It does help, yeah. Got back to Ishanten. Weight's not too bad.
Yeah, Ramen here, waiting on 6-9-mon and 1-4-so.
And obviously, Rariel's going for also for a Haku Toy.
Gee.
There's Senpai on the left for 3,900, waiting on 1-4-so. We see a whole bunch of those in the hands right now. Only 1-1 and 1-4 left.
Yeah.
Boom.
And Rariel now also Tenpai. Weight is a lot better. No, it's the same weight. Actually, 4 mans are dead, so 1 6-pin left only.
Yeah, and the 6 and 4 you figure isn't going to come out for Mano, and if it does, great. But these are always things you have to factor in when you go Toy. There's another 1-so, but it completes the Onko there for Unifans. It's not coming out.
Nope. That is Tenpai for
nice
Nana.
little Tenpai. Yeah, I definitely hit the button here. Could Dama given the pin Fudora 2 already, though.
Yeah, and it is, you got 2 draws left.
Yeah, especially that Tuso being called. The weight's pretty bad. The question is it going to come out?
No.
It does. We'll get the 5,800 here at dealer.
Yeah, nice little start. Do I have a direct scene up? No, I do not. There we go.
Great starting hand here for Nana. 2 completed shapes, 2 Dora, 3 completed shapes, 2 Dora, and even could pair up that East for double Yakuhai. On the right, we have also really great shapes. 2 completed. Oh my goodness, look at that. Now Ishan 10 with the Ipeco locked in. Across the way, again, pretty good shapes, just not quite as much value here. Maybe Ipeco in Mon, and on the left. So speaking of Tempai,
Yeah,
there's
Tempai.
one on the right. Yeah, just waiting for the Ipeco Dama on 3 Mon. Won't be much value here, but will allow you to move it around.
Reach.
Then you take the Shampon here, and does. The early 2, the 1's going to look really safe here. I figure someone's going to deal that in eventually.
Yeah, I
And
can.
the hand on the left isn't bad, but you just see this, you go, what do I do? And dealer says, okay, you have a fast hand, so do I.
Wow, yeah. For 7-pin, 7 pins, half of them are locked up. There's the other one of them, but that's not gonna come out.
So 2 left at this point. You have 1 7 and 1 4 available. That would be Ricci, Pin Fudora 2, so Mongun already.
Yeah, very, very explosive start to this hand. Up pawn here, unfortunately, 3 Dora, but you're staring down 2 Riccis.
Could have been willing to push the 8 Mon here, and then would have been worried later about throwing this red 5, but now you know it's safe and you're a little regret. And no, you would have been Tempai now.
Oh,
Would have had the 3-sided Tempai. That's a bit unfortunate. But for the 2 players in Ricci, it's what? 2 outs versus 1?
yeah, and as the last one, man.
No, 2 out. Yeah, there we go. And there's the last 4.
So it's just the 1 7-pin left in the wall.
No.
I was surprised really hadn't thrown that 1 Mon a long time ago because it looked really safe.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought once they
So-
paired it up, it might, be safe there, but I guess we run out of options maybe. I didn't quite check the
You have the
Genbutsu.
Sotegawa on the 2 Mon, and then it sues you to the dealer with the early 4 Mon discard.
Yeah.
So you figure it comes out, but I figure just going through Genbutsu first and eventually run out, and it's going to come. There's no real way you can dodge that situation. But speaking of great hands, look at that on the right. As
Yeah.
Unifan as dealer has what looks to be a Pinfu, maybe an Ipeco. You even have Honitsu options, but I think you just go for anything you can get. Across the way, the Hatsu pair. Dora could also, except that Dora, instant calling that 4-pin Dora. I think that is a mistake to pass on that for sure. On the left, we see pretty good shape from Pinfu Ipeco now, potentially, with another Dora would be really nice. Then you've paired up, gotten your head, so I believe that's Ishan 10. Yes, it is.
No pin for you now.
And in front of us, we have potential 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku, but I think you're saying anything you get. Ricci, Tanyao, Dora, maybe Pinfu.
Yeah. Everyone's got great hands here.
Yeah, this is 2 hands in a row. You had everyone with significantly better than average starting hands.
Unifan dropping the East here, so yeah, looks like we might see.
G.
Oh, Hapon selling out for the Honitsu here.
Yeah. I thought they might go that way
G.
once they paired up the West.
Okay, now we do see the Dora call by Rariel. Really looking for that Hatsu will then be Tempai waiting on 5-8 Mon.
Yeah, here it comes.
Boom.
Dora too, I mean, you're perfectly fine with that, especially after having dealt in on the first hand.
Yeah, and 5-8 man is very live.
There is 1 out, so that means 7 in the wall. Can't ask for much more than that. And there's going to be one of them. I don't see any way this
No.
doesn't come
Yeah,
out.
no, it's coming straight out. So yeah, 3900 plus the Omba. Oh, was that the clue number? I think it was-
No, let's see. Yeah, it should have been because that was a dealer demo. But across the way, I generally tend to start with dealer. We have a Hatsu pair, a Dora, pretty good shapes as well. You're really not pulling that 3-mon Dora indicator. On the left, we have, I don't know, Chanta maybe?
Chanta, yeah.
Pretty standard Pinfu shapes, but I'm definitely looking for extra vet. And yeah, Junchan, honestly. Now you've had your pair, your 5 blocks are all there. In front of us, we see a Call of the Chun, 2 Dora, so honestly anything, and then wait on either of the Sha or the Haku would be perfectly fine. And on the right, pretty standard Pinfu, just looking for a head right now.
Boom.
Yeah. We'll have to see how that 6-pin's unfortunate. Yeah, but no, I think Nano might have a good chance till the Haku comes out early.
Up-on's Ishan 10 would have a terrible wait.
Yeah. That kind of ends up what happening with these Junchanish hands sometimes, but
Yeah, so this is one of the reasons that there's a long-term joke about never go for Chanta under any circumstances, and this is why. It's because you have to draw the correct side of every single one of your Ryanmen.
yeah.
We do have Tempai across the way for Hatsu Dora.
Dora, 2 3-mons left on the wall. Acceptance is pretty high. There's one of them. That's one person you can't really accept it.
Comes right out.
Yeah.
Your only other option is to float it and maybe throw the 7-so, hoping you draw something near Dora, but I could certainly see throwing it there as well.
Yeah, you're not really expecting it to deal in, or even, get called.
Well, we have Dealer here, calls the Haku, doesn't have much else, but the shapes are pretty good, all things considered, just no value. On the left, we have pretty standard Pinfu, a pair of non-those. I think you're not going for Pinfu, you're just going to call and go.
Yep.
That is a very nice Rian Shantan. I would not have cut the 5-so, though.
Boom.
Although probably just figuring there are too many pairs this hand is certainly understandable. In front of Nano, 2 Onkos, but very hard to use these shapes. You have Kanchan 7-9 in 2 suits, and the floating 2-mon 5-so, 9-so. And on the right, we have, I don't know, I guess there's a possible 1-2-3 Sanshku, but honestly, the shapes aren't great, especially compared to everyone else on the table.
Yeah, no, they throwing the 2-pin here. Yep, you're just going to try and go for max speed, but this hand's going to be a bit too slow, I think, for Unifin.
Especially when Dealer is Tempai waiting on 3-mon, just like last hand.
Yep.
Now, it's interesting that Hapon is now looking for a pair, did cut from the 7-pin, though, and did come back to bite him.
Yeah, they do obviously have the 3-pin Onco they can use, but yeah, slow down unnecessarily in the end. There's a 3-mon.
Could fit in his hand perfectly. There's no way that comes out.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it goes for the tie now. I like that play for sure. You see some hesitation there, throwing the east, and it is live at this point, I believe. And you're wondering, what does Dealer have? There's our Tempai on the left. That will be South Dora.
South
Waiting
Dora.
on 6-9, yeah. And that looks like a really... Oh, wow, look at this. 3-sided weight here for Nano.
Yep.
Waiting on 5-7-8. And it may come out right here. Nice dodge, though, by Ruriel.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the Sipatsu turn. But no, they're pretty dedicated, at least for now. Can't.
Ooh. Cons for the extra Fu, but doesn't get any extra Dora.
Gives Ruriel an extra 3, but I don't think they're going to be winning this hand.
Well, Ruriel just got safe tiles, so that's not going to happen. Oh, there's the DLN, and that will be the South Dora, but you do have the extra Fu from the Con. Always feels bad when you have the 3-sided weight that loses, especially when someone cons on you like that.
Yeah. Oh, and we might see another con in the near future.
Yeah, I'd wait a couple turns just because the rest of these shapes are so bad.
Yeah, no.
We start with the dealer, the shapes. Speaking of bad shapes, I'm honestly thinking Cheetoy with this hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much you've dealt with me before, but I hate Cheetoy.
Cheetoy, yeah, Cheetoy. You hate. Ah, yeah. it's terrible. And yeah,
You
it's
have more
going.
pairs, but now you're thinking there's a lot more value here. You can go Toy, you can go Honitsu. You can still back into the Cheetoy, but honestly, you're wanting to figure out how to use that Hakudora.
Mm-hmm.
And in front of us, Nano has pretty good shapes here, especially when pulling that 3-mon. You do have the Con, which will happen eventually. The question is when. On the right, we have decent shape. You do need to fill in that Penchon on the 8-9 pin. But other than that, pretty good shape. Just a floating Dora, which is a bit useless. Across the way, we have Pinfu shapes, maybe a 3-4-5 Sanchoku as well. So potential for value there.
Yeah, all these hands are looking pretty nice. If Nano can fill in this 3-mon instead of drawing 3 different 8-mons. Oh, there's Tempai on the Cheetoy.
Each.
Cheetoy, it's an easy play. So close to Hanroto.
Yeah. Wonder if there's ever any argument for going for. You could have gone for. Can you Cheetoy Jun Chanta? You can, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we had a Hanroto Cheetoy
Yeah.
Tempai in the American Reach Mahjong League, the championship series. That was just what, yesterday, 2 days ago, and didn't win, but was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Regardless, here we have Riichi Cheetoy Dora, 2 Sumos, of course, Hanemon and potentially Baimon on Oradora.
Yep. Big potential hand here, but obviously it is Cheetoy and it is waiting on the Dora, so you might not see it come out when it gets drawn.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's throwing it here, especially given that pond. You're starting to see so many of these mid-ties. You're going, what on earth is the weight here?
Yep.
Sumo.
Oh.
There's the Sumo. It is Hanemon. We will see if we get some Oradora for the dealer Baimon. Not there, but still 8,000 plus the 10,000, so 18,000 all together, and that's good enough to really take control of this game.
Yep, very big Hanuman Sumo for the dealer, and they start off with a somewhat nice looking hand, but have quickly fallen behind.
This is one of those hands that is, the shapes are good, or rather the blocks are good, but the shapes aren't. You have a 2, 4, 6, 8 so, and you probably have to make 2 shapes out of it, and you're going, how do I do that? I guess there's now a path for the 2, 3, 4 Sanshigu, which is how I'd approach it, but we have Nano here having called twice with the Chun and the 4, 5, 6 Mon, already Ishanten here. On the right, Pinfu shapes, but you're looking to pull the 1, 2, 3 Sanshigu in, and across the way, the Hatsu has already been called. You have a Dora and pretty good shapes. You cannot actually turn this into any sort of Jun-chan. I guess there are Toy shifts though, especially if you can pair up that Dora.
Yeah, it's I'd like to see that hand go towards Toy, I think, just to get a bit of more extra value out of it. Jun-chan feels a bit, yeah, as you said, a bit too hard to get to. You have to throw a bunch of 7 months.
Couldn't have been Chanta considering the Hatsu call.
Sorry, yeah.
What would be nice, but very difficult given that set of 7 Mon in the hand. That's a really nice Ishan, because that 8-9 weight is going to look reasonably safe, especially given that the 9 Mon was passed.
Yup, exactly.
G.
And there's Tempai waiting on that 8-9. And you see that 4 of them are out, so only waiting on 4 tiles, but no one at the rest of the table can use either of those tiles.
Yep.
Reach.
Oh, Tempai. This is
4-7? Just a Riichi Pinfu, yeah, waiting on the 4-7. There are a bunch of them out already.
Yeah. Funnily enough, the best now we get the hands gone. There is comes. It's not yet.
Yeah, Nano has no reason to push this. This hand isn't really worth fighting for. And even here, now the question is, do you call the 7 and dare force things? The answer is, it's still probably not worth it.
No. Holding on to the east because, again, the east is still live.
Interesting decision point here for Ruriel. You could throw the 9, which is safe against the Ricci, but really tanks your value. It does shift to the 5-6 weight instead.
It is a more live weight, but yeah, the value loss feels a bit rough.
Yeah, and you don't think it's going to be a better weight here necessarily. It's purely a defensive move.
Hmm.
As you figure, you see the 5 and the 6 called by Nano, and you expect them to be used in other hands generally.
Yeah, more often than not, yeah, you would not expect to see it come out again. Especially not with a Ricci on the table.
Good call for Tempai here, but would have to throw either that 6 mon or the
Gee.
East.
That is a sumo.
Well, there's the 7, so that will be a sumo. Oh, I hate the slow roll here.
Sumo.
That's rude.
Wow.
Ricci, sumo pinfu. No aura, but does pull in 4,000, and we move to south round.
We do. Quickly on to south. I guess it has been about 20 minutes. Not too bad pace. So we've got the dealer, 2 Arcadora, Dora Acceptance, double Chun. Unifan.
Yeah, great start again for dealer.
Unifan, lots of honor tiles. Could potentially see a Honitsu come
Home.
with these call. Yeah, looking that way for sure. Cross of us, Ruriel. Bunch of Rionmans. Yeah, it's looking like a good old Ricci Pinfu sort of hand, and then upon got a completed Rionman, but a couple 2 pairs, couple floating. He's got 3 pairs now, floating honor tiles.
Nah, Hapon has 4 pairs, and honestly, the rest of the shades are pretty terrible. May just be going Cheeto. Across the way, there's a Dora pair up by Ruriel, so could even just go for the Tanya, Dora 2 or 3, depending on what gets called.
Yeah, burying the doors actually does give them more options for the hand to get a bit more value out of it. And there's
Always frustrating to see that 5, 6, 6, 8 weight when you know you're going to need Dora. Yes, it allows you to accept 2, but you have to draw the first one, and you figure they're being used by someone or some ones.
yeah. You're just kind of hoping to draw into it, and now you've got a decision to make.
You have to throw the 8, so nothing else makes sense here. You're just kind of sitting here wondering, where's the tune? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and you get to this point and you start to think whether it's just being that another pair's being held by another player, and you might end up chucking them.
Well, you're not going to usually throw them at this point. We could, yeah, I like the 6-so here, but you still have Itsu choice, you still have Sanju. You don't necessarily have to end up using the Ju.
No. Yeah, but I also, I do like seeing the 6 Mon getting thrown here. A 6-so rather.
Now you could consider throwing the pair.
Yeah. And does. Ruriel managed to pick up a lot of pairs on the way, actually.
Well, Nano is now Tempai, can
Ricci.
reach the 3-sided weight for Ricci, Pinfu, Dora 3, possible Tanyao.
Yeah, this is a big deal at hand.
What I realize is the first one comes out and then you see 2 others, so they were never coming.
Yep. Ruriel just hit Tempai or small weight on 4-pin 8-so.
Dom.
And there's the 4, comes right out, the Dama, Tanya, Dora 2, Dora 3. Oh, missed the last 7
Yeah.
so in there. That's a really rough Mongon to deal into.
Yeah, that's really painful for Nano.
Boom.
Dropped her down to 6,000 points with no dealerships left.
That's another one where, sure enough, Champon wins against your three-sided Ricci, and that's always frustrating. You're sitting here in fourth, you're going, but I had a chance to take over Champon's first.
Yeah, no, it's a rough feeling for sure.
Well, Unifan has a call the Hatsu, decent chase, but not great. You have one door across the way. Anko of Tuso, so probably just reaching Nomi here, but a bunch of shapes that are pretty good, especially pulling the 7 Mon. Now Ishan 10. On the left, we have pretty good shapes, but it's going to be hard to use everything in So. Do you maybe just go Itsu out of it?
Mm-hmm.
And Nano in front of us with similarly pretty good shapes. We do have a somewhat awkward 4-4-6-8. I don't think the 1 or 3 are going to end up staying in this hand.
No, yeah, the Manzu needs a bit of cleaning up, but otherwise, yeah, that the rest of the hand is pretty clear where it's going.
I see Rariel ends up cutting the 8 Mon, not buying the Penchon there. But if you're going to do that, I definitely like throwing the 9 here and keeping the 5 because it's a much better floating tile.
Yeah, if
you may have decided you locked in your shapes, but if you pair up the 5 or do something else with it, you can always, shift something like that. You could also go for a Tanyo upgrade.
Yeah, I guess the only he might have just been thinking to dump the 5 now. Earlier on. But yeah.
It's not key gear. You're getting rid of it before it gets really dangerous. But that's always a balancing question is, how much do I want to balance danger versus, ooh, this is now a really nice Ishan 10.
Yeah, so much acceptance here for Roriel to get the Senpai.
Would really like to pull in the 2-3-4 Sanjuku as well. That'll be very difficult.
He could consider a Rion Peiko shift here, but I think he just want to go for speed.
Well, the 2 Mon is dead, so it's a pretty lousy Rion Peiko.
Yep, it is 2 dead. You are correct with that. Did miss the last one being in Unifan's Bond.
I kind of have everyone sitting in the same situation. I believe everyone at the table is now Ishanten except for Nano.
And yeah, Nano is sort of, you're kind of stuck here. Pretty much the only draws you're going to be getting are your immediate upgrades. You're just waiting to find one of them. Yeah, everyone's just waiting.
Yeah, this is always the tensest part of the table, especially get towards the end of that second row, and no one's won. You're going, wait, why? Interesting decision there by Hopon, keeping the live Haku, figuring it's going to deal into something dangerous, especially from Dealer here.
Dealer
but does end up folding. Oh, and this would be Tempai. This would be an amazing Tempai.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Nano is now into perfect Ishan 10. You just jam the Haku and Ricci for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's a mistake.
Like, this is Ricci, right?
You gotta go for it. Well, yeah. The thinking here is you're already in first. You don't want to endanger it by dealing into something expensive for the dealer. But the difference here is if that passes and you win this hand, it's over. It's just completely over.
Ruriel Dama's there, Tempai, by the way. But yeah, no, I agree. It's you got the chance to take the game in your hands. I think you just jam it.
And there's the Haku, and you're feeling so much regret now.
Gee.
And gets into Tempai with that call.
South is live.
Well, without a Yaku,
No.
but there's the 5. He'll deal into the Minfu.
Yep.
Now, interestingly, actually passing on that would have gotten Ruriel more points.
Yeah, but I guess they wanted to know that they were
Well, you have to think the dealer's Tempai there, and you figure the call there from Hopon probably makes 3 players Tempai. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to pass it there and move the dealer turn around. But we're in South 3, starting with Rural across the way. You have the awkward 1-3-5-7. The rest of it's great, though, especially with Dudora. On the left, you see the double South pair, and can easily accept Dudora. In front of us, decent shapes, except for the whole 2-3-8-9.
Yeah.
Other than that, a Ryankan and a pair of the Yakuhai. Maybe now you're thinking 2-3-4 Sanchu. I definitely would be. I'm cutting the Penchun here. That's what Nana does. On the right, I don't know, Tanyao, Pinfu maybe? I think you're just calling. You have 2 Dora. That's good enough. Especially now, it's a great draw.
Yep.
You just need something connected to that 5 pin in the hands. Yeah, amazing all of a sudden.
Unifan, again, they're in last. I'm looking for points, but you've got an easy chance to take a second here and end Ruriel's dealership. First is, a bit far, but yeah. Tanya Dora 2. Go for it. You've even got a chance to get more of that later, depending on what you draw.
There.
G.
I think I like cutting the 2 instead, because now you're requiring yourself to use a 4.
Yeah, going with a 2-man head gives you just a little bit more choices. Well, I guess it works.
Well, speaking of the 4, it does come out right there, so okay, I guess that's the right answer. Moves it around, and we're in all last.
All last, yeah, whatever the dealer is happy to pretty much end this game whenever Hapon's team is in second, basically first.
Well, this will definitely help. A nice big first here. When you look at the hand, you're thinking 79 Sanchiku, maybe Junchan, but honestly, you're probably going to end up folding because the shapes are bad.
Yeah.
For Nano, you have the pair of Chun, and I think you're brute forcing Chanta. You need value here. You're in such a ridiculous position. I think you just go for it. Do we have a freeze?
The computer's going, and maybe a DC.
No, it's going. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Because that may be one where you just think about it and time out. You don't even feel that bad about throwing it. Now, if we see another couple discards, then we're going to figure this is probably disconnected. It'd be really unfortunate.
Yeah, nothing came up in Discord yet. I'm not too sure what's happening with Nandi. I haven't actually disconnected, right? We'd see that. Oh, he's a tune as well.
That will tell us right here. Okay, is thinking about it, looking for some excuse. Could even con this. I probably wouldn't, though. You need value from Ricci. On the right, we see 2 Dora, so I'd like to move that some sort of Tanya. You do have that Penchun to get rid of. Across the way, a Hatsu pair and a Dora, but really not going to be enough to be able to challenge Hopon for anyone at this table.
No, none of his hands are really in a position to challenge him first as of now. Hopon isn't looking towards that Junchan, based on their cuts.
Well, not anymore. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Hopon, you're right. Junchan Sanshuku. I mean, it's going to be 3 Han if you can complete it, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, and then if the event you've got someone reaching, most of these starts are probably going to wind up being safe, so.
Yeah.
Ends up being a win-win. There's 7-1.
Ooh, that's a nice draw. I don't like cutting that 3 there. I'd like to float this around simply because the 1's going to look super safe against you.
And you got that same issue with these Junchan Chanta hands, as you need these very specific draws to complete your shapes, and having that Ryanman just sort of helps out just a little bit.
Interesting decision here. I could call this, but I don't know that it speeds the hand up. You're still going to need a pair. Okay, cuts the 3 so instead. I don't think that sped the hand up much.
No.
You can make an argument that it did, though.
But yeah, he's confirmed the 1 said to be the pair at this stage. Over, I guess he's holding on to the 9 for now.
I'd want to get rid of that 7 pin as fast as possible if that's the situation. All right, see a Ricci here from Nano for Ricci, Chun, Dora. Waiting on the Tuso, which is Suji to the Ricci.
Suji to the Ricci. 2 in Unifan's hand, but the other 2 still are in the wall. We'll have to see how the players want to treat Suji. Here's the Ricci Suji. If they do get into that situation.
Well, also with a 5 Ricci, the 1-4 and 6-9 become way more dangerous than normal. But we may see it come out here, because that's a 3-sided weight there for Ariel. No, just hard fold. Just once a second, it says that's good enough. I think Hapon pushes the Dora into this. That's a very aggressive play.
Yeah, guess trusting half Suji. But thinks better of it going forward at least.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that gets you in trouble, because you can deal into double or even triple road.
Two does come.
This is going to deal in. Okay, we have head bump in this league, so that'll only be the 53. 52 rather. And there's 6, but it is enough to knock Ariel into 3rd place.
Yeah, well played by Hapon to close the game out. Unifan does manage to pick up a couple points for their team here. But yeah, Ariel, unfortunate to deal in.
Yeah, would have dealt into both players, but with head bump on, you only have to pay out the 1, but still, 5,200 is enough to kick him down to 3rd place.
Alright, so we're gonna get Hapon in here for an interview. Oh, ESP, here they are. Congratulations. Let me just turn you up a bit there. I'm just grabbing the replay up here now. Any thoughts on this game?
I did a little troll move, but yeah. I'm sure you know where it's at.
Yeah.
Or maybe you want to look at this hand. I'm not sure.
Is there any hand?
Well, I think the situation was mostly get the Cheetoy and then cruise the rest of the way.
Yeah, so we've got...
Well, yes.
Yeah, so you started off with this hand and it pretty much just went straight to Cheetoy immediately, like you just drew pair after pair after pair after pair from memory.
I mean, yeah, I was like aiming for Sanshoku and Sanshoku Doko or Sanko, Toy Toy, that kind of stuff. So just, just keep all the ones.
Yeah. I was thinking about that when I saw you hold on to the 1 pin as well, I remember that.
Yeah, Rillita said you could turn it into Doko or Honroto, but you're going to take a dealer Haneman Sumo like that. So that basically set up the entire game for you. What were you thinking for the rest of the game?
I think there was another one. There was another one before where I can't during a reach. Yeah. I can't remember which one was it.
Oh, that was... Was it this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was here. The Diamond Khan, right near the end.
I mean, you could say I screwed up a little bit by keeping the 8 soul at the start. I messed with my own efficiency.
Oh yeah, that I do remember this hand now.
Yeah, we definitely said that they're both the 5-so and the 5-so pair and the 7-pin pair could have ended up being your final pair, but you get back into temp by waiting on the 6-9 at the very end. Yeah. One question I had was in that very last hand was you threw Dora very late.
Did the 6-pin.
Oh, that one.
Where was it? Yeah, right here. The 6-pin just came straight out on this board.
Wasn't it safe? I'm not sure.
It was safe to your Toyman, but...
Oh, okay. No, that's a mistake, I guess.
Well, it can happen to the best of us.
You got through to the win there, so can't complain too much.
Any other hands you want to talk about?
I mean, yeah, you kind of just had a pretty quiet game. You got your dealer Hanuman, and yeah, as Corak said, you just sort of coasted on that for the rest of the game. You didn't need to do much else.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, as much as I wanted to Renchan, but I couldn't.
Well, yeah, great points for your team. Obviously, it will take them going forward because the scores will be halved going into top 4 if you do make it there. But yeah, well played.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Congratulations.
Good to see you again.
Okay. Hope to see you.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.
Uh,
Alrighty, so I believe the other game has finished up, so I think we'll be waiting till the hour for the next game to start. So we might take a break while we wait for that to start. Yeah. This game, I mean, it is here, but it is. I'm pretty sure it's practically done. Yeah. Alright, yeah. So we'll be waiting on the next 2 games to begin. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with you in about 15 minutes with the second game. Alright, we're back. Games have fired and are underway, so just waiting for the delay to catch up with us. Going into game 2, we'll be watching the second table here featuring Chewy from a UNSW, Jaffa Orange from Devil Run Cyber, 777 from Tanya Sensation, and Iwu SKL from Urasan. So in this table we do have the teams in first, second and third playing against each other, with Urasan having dropped to 7th place, needing to do a bit of work to regain their lost ground. Had a underwhelming top 8 series so far.
Yeah, sitting a long way out from the cut line at this point. Really needs to deliver because you're just running out of games at this point.
Yeah. After this game, you've only got 4 left. You really, really need to cash in some big wins here if you want to have any chance at making top 4.
Yes, and you're probably not going to get to that 271 level. You're hoping someone else will knock them down and maybe you can sneak into around 200.
Yeah, you're hoping Uni Fan Club and yourself, Urasan, you're hoping to take some really big wins and knocking these guys down. Like, it needs to happen at this stage. Because yeah, just getting first place and eking out wins isn't enough at this point.
But on the other side, we have the top 3 teams here fighting it out. So the question is, who can solidify their positions?
Yeah, we're just noticing during the break, UNSW obviously had a very strong season. None of their members have gone below 0 points. Just making sure. Yeah, they're all above 0.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat to be able to keep this, because it's not like you're playing a ton of games either. If you're doing that, and every single person, even the people that are playing 5 or 6 games, that's very impressive.
Yeah, very strong players. And then, Run Devil Run obviously stormed up the standings towards the second half of the season, briefly taking first place away from UNSW. In Tanya Sensation, who just missed the finals last season, if I recall, put themselves into a strong contention for making finals this season. But yeah, so they'll be looking to try and pick up some more points, really consolidate their positions. Obviously the bigger gap you have now, it's better because your points halve, but then the safer you can play the next couple Hanchans. You don't have to worry about playing so much of a position.
Right, but everyone's just focused right now on that cut line. AUNSW is pretty safe at this point. It'd take a pretty big disaster to drop out. But everyone else, I can certainly see it happening too.
Yeah. And I guess that's the crazy thing. Tall Dreaming, who had a very strong season also, they were sitting up in first, second, third pretty much all season. Towards the end of the preliminary rounds, they kind of dropped off a bit, and now because of that, they find themselves in that battle for 4th.
Right, and just 1 game separating them and Itsuanko.
And Aeromegasaurus, not exactly far off either.
No, because it's not like you have 1 game. You still have the game today and then 2 more play days.
Yep. So anything can happen. Any of these top 6 teams have a very realistic shot, or I'd say top 6. Anything from 6th to 2nd, 6th to 3rd rather. All up for grabs at this point. But we'll be slotting in here with Jaffa Orange, noted Sanma Salt poster.
Well, as much salt as there is in Yonma, in Sanma, you're just going to deal into Biomon. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it.
Yeah, no, it is. That is the way that Sanma goes, and we are underway. This is
Here starts off with a pretty nice hand here. Pinfu, Dora. You also have the floating 9, so it doesn't do much though. You also have potentially Peiko. Great start. On the right, Pinfu type hand. We'll need to fill that 8-mon to get the Kanchan for reaching Pinfu Dora across the way. Even Itsu and Pin. Other than that, maybe even a 6 or an 8 Sanshoku. And on the left, pretty standard Pinfu as well, but the shapes are a little worse.
Shapes are a little worse. Outside chance of another Sanshoku around 1, 2, 3 perhaps. Especially about 2 soul draw now. But yeah, both.
2 soul draw really helps. Really helps the hand. Now you're also thinking possibly Peiko. And again, you have the same isolated Dora problem.
Yeah. And yeah, Jaffa decided to dump his early. Now he's looking for an Peiko of his own.
His hand's looking very expensive. Riichi, Pinfu, Tanyo, Peiko, Dora.
Already Mangan, Ura. We'll bring it up to a dealer Hanemon. Or any other extra points.
As I said, it's not like anyone here has a bad hand. You look at what dealer has, and you're kind of in awe.
Yeah, no, it's the exact hand you want to sit down to and start a Hanchan off with. This hand you can ride this all the way up the rest of the Hanchan if you so wanted to. If you did manage to catch it in, obviously, which is the hard part.
It's always the hard part. And this is the type of thing that experienced players do. It's just do not get attached to that Dora. It's just not that important. And then you see these beautiful shapes fill in afterwards. Of course, the alternative is you could have drawn another Dora that extra to look like a bit of an idiot, but that's how it always. Oh, that's it. The perfect draw.
Yeah.
Riichi, Pinfu, Tanyao, Dora, possibly Peiko. Assuming the 6-so would be Hanemon.
Yep.
Where you see 3-so and 2 6-so, so 3 in the wall, 2 of which are Peiko.
Yeah. Good chance. Well, decent chance for Jaffa here. Unfortunately, Cyber across the way was waiting on the same weight, or one of them, the 6-so at least. But that is no longer on the table. A really interesting draw for Chewy as well.
Now, Chewy's sitting here in Ishan 10. Well, probably willing to push here if you get 10 by. Ooh, this 4 pin's a very scary tile, though.
Yeah.
Could just throw the 6 here and kind of float the option a bit. No, just folding.
Ishan 10 now for SKL. But, no, is it even Ishan 10? Not anymore, it's not.
No. It would have been Ishan 10, but it also would have dealt in.
Yes.
So I think this was the way to play the hand, was to maneuver it towards the Tanyao. And maybe you can cut the 1 is perfectly safe, the 3 is reasonably safe, I guess. But you're just running out of time at this point. So yeah. I think the big question is, will Jaff pull in the sumo?
Yeah, at this stage, the other players are just getting out of the way to deal Riichi. There it is. Oh, where is the Takume?
Yeah, that is at minimum going to be Hanemon. Doesn't hit the Oradora, but when you can pull in a dealer Hanemon on East 1, you don't complain about Oradora.
Yeah, no, you're sitting very... Oh, this hand as well, wow. I can see it would tell immediately if it's looking good.
Yes, of course you saw the so immediately. The rest of the shapes leave a bit to be desired. But, oh wow, look at that. Now you're even thinking, do I get greedy and go for the Chinitsu? How much would I press my luck? On the right there, though, with Chewy, we have the Hakoanko, 2 Dora, so I think it's a call and go across the way. Yuck.
Yuck, yeah.
3 pairs. Two Dora, so you're thinking, I guess, maybe Chitoy at this point. I guess there's a possible Chinitsu, but I wouldn't buy it. On the left, those are decent shapes as well. Maybe you get Peiko now and Pin. For Riichi, Tanya, Peiko, maybe Pinfu. Maybe the Ankan on the right for Chewy. This will get it to Mangan now.
Missed the right Ura, or the right extra Dora rather, just by a fraction, unfortunately. In the meanwhile, yeah, while we were going through the hands, Jaffa managed to pick up more Sozo, including the Aka 5-so.
Wow, that is one of those awkward shapes that I get in real life. I go, wait, how am I supposed to read this?
Yeah, it's when you start pulling everything apart and you just, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's looking for the 4-7 and you have the pair built in there.
Yeah. It looks like Cyber pretty much is locked into Cheetoy at this point. 5 pairs. 4 pairs? Counting is very hard. 4 pairs, but yeah.
But now if you're Jeff, I think you just go for it. If something comes out, I'm just calling and going for the Chinitsu.
Yeah. What is the safest call here for Jaffa though?
Well, what you really want to call is the 5 or the 6, but if you don't, that's fine as well.
G.
You can make something work. Unfortunately,
Right.
all of a sudden,
Also-
it's coming out from Cyber across the way. Ow.
Oh, wow. What a draw. Yeah, it
Gee.
says enough of this. We're going for it.
Rum.
And it's
Oh,
gone.
and denied. We'll deal into a Mongon, though, there, as Chewy picks up 8,300 from Yaku Idora 3.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jaffa, with all the tiles that they did throw out, didn't manage to speed up Chewy's hand and cause these their own demise. But yeah, no, I mean, with that dealer on him on earlier on, you're not too fussed about missing out the Chinitsu.
Yeah, and that's always something you have to think about when you're going Chinitsu, is will the rest of the table react? Because they can see a bunch of mid-toss get wait. If they're coming out on turns 4 and 5, they're probably going to keep coming out. So if there's a path forward, it'll take it. But we start off with Chewy. A dealer has pretty decent shapes here. Maybe Ricci, Pinfu, Tiny. Also have a Dora floating 1-so. Across the way, 2 Akadora, so I think that's similarly just a call and go. You do have the other 1-so Dora, which you can connect if you draw the 3-so. And in that case, you'd stay close for sure. On the left, a few pairs, but that's another one of those hands that looks better than it is.
Yeah, it looks like it's just probably gonna wind up being Cheat Toy again, unless you manage to draw another Ancon maybe.
But it's really hard to use those shapes.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
688, 246, and the 2 north even prevent you from doing much unless you shoot a brute force call.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jaffin looks to be managing to maybe pick up an Ipeco here. And it's
Yeah,
just,
only the 7-pin, but all 3 are still on the wall, so that's certainly possible. Oh, and now you feel bad about throwing that 6. You feel really bad about throwing that 6.
yeah, not much you can do about it, I guess. And we are going on this Kanchan Tuso Ricci here for Chewy.
Yeah, Ricci Dora, there are 2 left in the wall because Cyber has the other 2.
Yep. It does manage to make use of that floating door, but that's out the hand at the very least. But yeah, no, I mean you're not too fussed about Ricci Dora. Kanchan with his dealer, I don't think.
Maybe folding, though. We'll see if it's just a shift or whether that's an actual fold. And there's the last 2-so.
Yeah, if they manage to connect up the 5-so, or the Aqua 5-so specifically, maybe you might see a push.
Well, you might see a push if... Oh, yeah, I'm definitely throwing the 4 here. Instead throws the 5, just goes for the more conventional shapes. I much prefer throwing the 4 there. Even though it's not necessarily safe, it's reasonably safe given what we see here. And this allows you to accept potentially both Dora.
Yeah.
That's Tempai for Jeff.
South is safe. Does Dharma.
Yeah, it's a terrible value. I definitely agree with the Dama here.
Yeah.
You want to be able to fold if you get something really bad. And you don't end up with a win, but unless there's a... So, oh, Tempai across the way as well, but would have to throw that 5, red 5.
Yeah, chooses not to. But does find Tempai in the end.
Wow, 3 players Tempai.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chewy starts off with 2 Dora here. So this is very simple. You see something you call, you call.
That is it. Unfortunately, yeah, the other two Chuns are in Jaffa and SKL's hand. They might end up holding on to those unless their hands develop very quickly with other value.
Well, the other thing is to consider, this is the type of thing that can get you in trouble. If you call anything with a terminal, then you say, hey, I'm probably some sort of Yakuhai. If you're just calling for Tanya, which look to be the current shapes, then someone may say, the tune looks reasonably fine, and throws it against you.
Yeah, that is pretty much what ends up happening half the time.
Across the way, pretty standard Pinfu. You do have an awkward 2-5-8 and so. And on the left, that 2-pin fill-in makes the hand a really wide E-shunt and headless already.
Chun might
But
come.
I think the tune comes out, it has to come out here. And we're E-shunten for Chewy for that Mongon.
Yeah, now that's gone exactly to plan for Chewy.
Speaking of Tempai, now is Tempai, could Richi this, waiting on the 7-pin for Richi Dora.
Yeah, 7-pin, all of them still in the wall at this stage. I think Chewy, if he manages to draw a 7-pin, he would end up holding on to it. But obviously these early reaches can be a bit tricky to play against.
Yes, and now we have Chewy into Tempai waiting on 5-pin. There is only one left of the wall. I can't see it ever coming out of Jas or Cyber's hand.
No, not a center tile unless something really weird happens if SKL's discards maybe, but it's pretty unlikely.
So a 1 versus 4 weight here, but we can tell that 1 is much more expensive.
Yeah, and despite the reach on the table, I think Cyber and Jaffa will be very conscious of the fact that the dealer does have open Mongon. There is 1 to 7s.
There's the first one, so not to 1 versus 3. I mean, Jaff wants to win this hand. Just shut the dealer down, take some points away, and progress the situation. Could shift here for dealer. If you want to throw the 4, you could shift to the Shumbone. The 6-pin is dead. The 3-so, there is 1 left, so you haven't actually upgraded the weight quality at all. But if you sumo that last one in the wall, praise Sanso, and that is enough to take over first place.
Yep, very well chosen shift in the end. Immediately rips the Sanso for a dealer Mongon. Yep, taking first away from Jaffa.
Huge hand there. Now we have a big fight for first, and you have 2 players who are like, how do I get back into this? And the answer is you may not be able to. But we start with Chewy. Those shapes are terrible. I probably wouldn't even cut the 1. I'm honestly thinking Junchan with this. It's kind of irredeemable. Across the way, Ipeiko and a couple floating shapes. Maybe just Tanyo Ipeiko, not even Onko. So I'm definitely going to consider cutting either 3-so or the 7-9-so.
I'd like to see the Penchan come out, I think, yep.
Yep, okay. On the left, we have an Ishan 10. Mainly, though, waiting for that Haku Dora. Having 2 of those already in the hand, and an Aka as well. And in front of us for Jeff, we have the Pay Call, which is the Yakuhai, and a bunch of floaters. 1 completed shape.
Bunch of floaters, oh, he's another pay for. Hold on to that for later.
For now, yeah. Once your shapes are better, you just can't. But for now, these shapes are awful.
Awful, yeah. He has a chance to maybe get to a Chanter, but yeah, for now it's all over the shop. You know, Chewy, yeah, this hand hasn't really much improved. Manages to fill in.
Across the way will be Ipeiko Tanyao. We'll have to throw out the Aka 5, which will get called. Dama's it, but you absolutely call this.
Yeah,
you call and cut the 2 100% of the time. This should not be a delayed situation.
Yeah,
here it comes. Ultimately makes the correct decision. Takes a little longer than I feel comfortable with, but it's absolutely the right play. Oh, and now a 3-sided weight across the way. Waiting on the 2-4-5-so.
5-so, 1 left. There comes the 2.
Oh, that's going to deal in. Yeah, there's no way around that. Richi, Tanyo, Ipeiko.
Dura.
and the Oradora, and Cyber says, okay, well, I was in 4th, and now I'm in a reasonably comfortable 3rd after the direct hit on the previous 3rd place. Ooh.
Yeah, manages to recoup some of the payments from the dealer Hanuman and the dealer Manga they've already had to pay for. Brings them, into a solid 3rd, but obviously now the dealership, they're sitting here with, what have we got? Couple half-completed rearmaments. Not much really going on, but yeah.
Dora there. I like keeping that Dora a lot more.
USKL, nice shapes. Pair of the Hatsu, Aka 5 so. A couple shapes to fill in though. Jaffa, we're holding on to their Shah Dora, otherwise completed rearmament pair, and a couple of half completed rearmaments. And lastly, Chewy, couple pairs, Penchant to fill in, a little bit of rearmament. This is all about the same speed at this stage, it looks like.
Well, who has had some fantastic draws and is now in Ishan 10 for a monster.
Oh yeah, we've got a 567 Sanshoku brewing, which they do now confirm.
Well, not necessarily confirmed.
Oh, it's not quite, but yeah.
Very likely. Oh, and there's the backfire. That's a little rough. But yeah, at this point, you just throw it back and move on.
Yeah.
And Ishan 10 on the right for what would be Tanya only.
Tanya only, but...
Eat.
There's your Tempide. You take the good weight. No, takes the bad weight to lock in the Sanchu. I would definitely have thrown the 7 because you're going to have to possibly Peiko and Pinfu, which is the same value as the Sanchu, but with a lot more outs.
Yeah, I feel like this stage you just sort of got a bit blinded by the Sanshoku. Yeah, waiting on what 3 outs. You can already see one of them, and it's a middle tile, so that's a great draw for Jaffa. But
yeah,
he is
but
folding.
Jaffa's getting out of here. This is the other issue with having the Dora sitting in your hand is you don't feel you can throw it into the reach here very often.
Yeah.
Similarly, Chewy, I think she's getting out of here too. And there's one of those 6, so 2 left.
Cyber, they've pushed 2 half Sujis here. Not quite willing to give up. I don't think they had anything safe regardless, unless they want to break up the 3-4-5 Sozo shape.
Well, when you look at that pawn, you go, what is safe?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe 3 Mon, but even that's not that safe. It's Suji, but it's a terminal Suji, which is lousy.
Now Jeff is sort of faced with the same situation. Does choose to push the Dora.
And that kind of alerts the rest of the table is, wait, what is Jaffa pushing this with? The answer is not much, honestly.
Not much, but yeah, as you pointed out, what do you do with this pawn here?
Normally you just throw the 1 Mon or the 3-pin, because the 5s and the 4s are starting to come out, and the 1 certainly isn't safe, but it's almost better than anything else here.
Yeah, pretty much. You kind of just...
Oh, there's the 6. That was the correct weight. It's maximum value out of this Richi, Sumo, Sanshoku, Tanya, Dora. And that's a Hanemon, and there goes Cyber's reasonably comfortable 3rd place.
There's a reason why we did call it reasonably. Since apparently this table is Mangon minimum.
I feel like Hanemon minimum at this point.
Yeah, so, moving on to East 4 rather. Chundora. SKL with a pair of Haku, a pair of Freeze, a pair of 8-pins, pair of 1-mons. Might be seeing another Chitoi coming here. Jaffa with an Anko of the 9, so... but not much else going on. Couple Sozo Tars, that's a great draw for him though. Chewy, pair of an Anko of the 2-pins. And Aka 5 so connected with a 6, so... Definitely can see this hand shaping up pretty quickly, and then across the way Cyber has a pawn of the 8 Mons. Might be looking for a Toy here. But I can't see.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Chewy's basically being pushed into a Tanya at this point. And, ooh, interesting choice here for Cyber. How much do you trust keeping those Easts? And he enters a lot. Throws the Akadora 5-pin.
Yeah, might be, like I said, I think maybe they're thinking Toy with all these pairs. But these aren't always the easiest pairs to call, especially the East Wind.
I have an Ishan 10 for Uski.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward, but again, your dealer.
Yeah, the problem is you're probably ended up reaching on that 5
Gee.
if you do fill in that 3, and good luck getting a 2.
Yeah. Yeah, 2s are pretty much locked up at this stage.
1
Well, they no longer need it, and Jaffa has Richi'd, waiting on a 7 4-pin for
It's
Richi
just
only.
Richi Nomi at this point. And we have Tempai on the right for 1 3 4. So 4 would actually deal into both. And Jaff will, of course, have priority here.
Mm-hmm. Seven pin is drawn by SKL here, but you hold on to it, at least for now.
The 4 and 2 are safe, so I like this shift. You do potentially leave yourself open to 4e10, but I don't know if you really want to push in the 9 and the 7 into this unless you absolutely have to.
相撲
There's the sumo, Richi sumo.
And
Not fancy, but good enough to take first.
yeah, it'll remain Richi Sumo, but yeah, does regain first going into his dealership, which I'm sure he's very happy to have.
They can draw to the pretty good starting end here. Tanyao, maybe Pinfu, also Dora in there. On the right, we have a Hatsu pair. Decent, but not great shapes elsewhere because you have a couple extra floaters. Across the way, pair of East, pair of White Dragons.
本
Nice shape in Mon, but everything else leaves a bit to be desired. You'd have a Dora as well, though. And on the left, decent shapes. This is the opposite problem. You're fairly close, but there's nothing there, and you're probably gonna end up in a bad weight anyway.
Yeah, another Richi Nomi sort of hand for SKL. But Jaffa has managed to find himself an Akadora to go with the Dora already in hand. It's shaping up to be a pretty good hand for him.
Easy Chi there on the 4, so yeah, just figuring out what am I going to connect to that Dora with. And if the East comes out, you just call on it, wait on the Dora itself.
本
Yeah, pretty much. You're hoping to draw something to connect, but you're pretty much happy waiting on a Tonki 7, so I think.
Yeah. Oh, great draw there for Jaff. That is a ridiculously wide E-shot 10. Let's see, what is it? 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. And Tempai across the way, waiting on 3 6-mon.
Does choose to go for a better. Oh, sorry, across the way. Sorry. Yeah, 3-6-mon. Will
Julie may throw it here, playing for the Toy Toy, but I think you just throw the Chun.
I think you're pretty happy throwing Tune here. Yeah.
Oh, there's the backfire for Jaff.
Yeah, but I mean, you're just waiting to. Oh, that's probably saved Chewy.
Toy Toy on the right. It'll be Toy Toy double south. Oh, no, doesn't take the Toy Toy. Instead takes the 6-9 weight.
Might be just looking to take away the dealership from Jaffa here.
Yeah, and there's still plenty. You still have 3 Han and 40 Fu, so it's not like it's a cheap hand.
No, not at all. Just trying to see. So we've got the Freeborns are dead for. Ooh.
Don't.
Yeah, there it comes. Yeah, you can't avoid that one. I was a little interested in what SKL was going to do there, because if you hadn't thrown the 2-so, could have ended up throwing the 9-pin, which should have dealt in.
Yeah. Did have a bit of an interesting choice, but yeah. Unfortunately for Jaffa, there's not much you can do about throwing the 6-mana Eridor.
No, you have a ridiculously wide Hanchans. But let's go over the hand, starting with 2A, 2, 3, 4. Sanchoku looks good. You also have Adora. You love to add Pinfu and Tanya across the way. I don't know, Chanta? And it feels like Junchan. That really looks like a Junchan hand. Especially the 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku in there on the left. We have 2 Akadora. So maybe Itsu and Pin. Really anything. 3, 4, 5 Sanchoku is fine. Now definitely like Itsu. And in front of us, what, 4, 5, 6 Sanchoku?
Yeah.
Actually, Ishan 10-4 already for Sanchoku Dora.
Sanshoku hand, I guess, for everybody here. But yeah, no, I'm looking. This is looking like a really nice Itsu for SKL for sure. Especially now you've got that the extra 4 mana as your pair. There's your 4-pin.
Wow. Could actually have been temp by waiting on the 4-so at this point. Would have had to throw that 5 Aka in Mon.
Yeah. I don't mind this because yeah, you can, I mean, at least you've got the 4 monster connected to, and you can maybe pick up quite a nice weight.
But yeah, as mentioned, Cyber is just, it's Junchan. There's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, no. He is your Shanten. Couldn't find the Sanshoku, unfortunately, but I mean, Junchan is Junchan.
Interesting choice there by Jaffa. And this is something that earlier on the hand, keeping the 4-so would have given a little more efficiency. But keeping that south tile as a safety, and has decided this is the final shape, no matter what else is drawn.
G.
Yeah.
I know we do have Dama on the left on 3-mon.
Sumo.
Oh, there's the Sumo! It is Mongon, so that is enough to take over a nice little 3rd place here. Normally, I just like the Ricci there because you get a bunch of potential extra value, but I guess the big problem is if you Dama someone for 5200, it doesn't really change the game that much.
No. But I guess they weren't feeling too confident.
I mean, a 3-mon always feels like a bad weight, but I think you just throw the stick in normally. Regardless, though, wins the hand, pulls into Mongon. So we start off across the way. You have the East pair. You'd love to pull in a 2-so Dora. Shapes aren't that far away. On the left, a Hatsu pair, a Dora. I guess maybe Honitsu and Pin, but I think you're just taking anything you can get. In front of us with Jaffa, we have a whole bunch of pairs. I'd like to say it's not Chitoy, but it looks a bit like Chitoy.
And yeah,
And
Chewy.
on the right, we see, yeah, beautiful Chinitsu developing.
And this Aka 5-so could end up coming out from Jaffa. For the 7-so Pon might give him pause. Oh, actually, no, it's fine now.
Well, that fixes your problem. You have a Suji weight on that 8-mon. For Ricci, Chitoy, Dora 3. That is a monster. And it could come out from SKL very quickly.
Yeah, if he goes into a position to chase a Honitsu or Chinitsu of their own.
Oh, and that's rough with the 5-mon. It's not really Chitoy until you have duplicate pairs in your discards, and there's an Anko.
Yeah, no. Always just, well, if you just waited and picked the better one, you know, you could be done. But yeah, I really like Jaffa's chances here.
Don't.
This tail does deal in. We figured that might happen just because the tiles weren't safe. But Jaffa does not hit the Orador, but does get the Hanemon to take a huge lead going into South 4.
Yeah, perfect for Jaffa. he's pretty much in position now to close this game out into a win. SKL with their dealership, paired the non. A couple other pairs to go with it, but obviously they can open to extend this. Jaffa with a lot of honor tiles, a lot of pairs of his own actually, but he does have paired the tune. Chewy is looking to have a lot of Manzu tiles, but could take this on Hanitsu. They draw the right stuff. Cyber, lastly, not much going on here. He has an Arca, and an Anko, but not much to do otherwise. Definitely not enough value to try and chase a second, but can get a third.
So you have two players right next to each other, so it's always an interesting dynamic, because even if SKL does win this hand, well, then you just have to do it again.
Boom.
Yeah. He does open up with the South Pawn, so this is probably going to be South only, but yeah, as you just said.
I think it'll be South Dora, because I think that Aka 5 has to come out eventually, unless something connects to it very quickly.
Oh, that is true, yeah. I think the only thing that might save Cyber, I mean, that's a good start, yeah. Jaffa choosing up the pawn.
That Jaffa just, yeah, I think that's a mistake. I'm going for it here. You just want to end the game peacefully. You don't want to give time for your competition, especially in a league with big Oka, to get time to develop a Hanemon hand. This seems to be a sellout for Chitoi. And Richi, Sumo, Chitoi, Dora 2 is the Hanemon that would take first.
Yeah, it's probably his best chances, but it does feel a little bit slow. It does have the good tiles to wait on though.
Yeah, oh, there's a second Dora. This is now Ishunten for that Chitoi. SKL is going for the Toy upgrades. Yeah, definitely selling out now. It's going to be very hard to get the 7-8, but if you can Chi a Dora or something, great.
Chewy did pick up the Arca.
There's the rough backfire.
Well, yeah, what are you going to do? I guess, you know, the Toy does look nice because you get give you that little bit extra points, but it doesn't give you that much extra. You know, you're still in danger of falling to fourth.
That's really rough for Chewy. He got the 5 Monanko and now would have the Dora Monanko and could have gone for the Toy. But now we see a Dama by Cyber, and I think the 3 comes out here. Yeah, and it does. You can't win on it because you didn't reach it. Was a little afraid of throwing the stick in, would fall under last place if that were the situation, but this is the problem, is you know SKL's going to push.
Yeah.
There's our Tempai for Chitoi on the right. Trying to decide which way is better. Does Richi. This will be Richi, Chitoi, Dora 3.
Could see our third Chitoi Hanemon of the game. Sorry, the first one was in the last game. Feels like it was in this game, just the high scoring that happened. So where are... Oh, there it is.
And that's this. This is exactly why I said Jaffa should have been a little more aggressive, is this will be Chewy taking the win here.
Yep. Does pull in the Hanemon, takes the win. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Jaffa, but that's sort of how it goes. You run the risk of having someone catch up when you play it slow.
Does get the Sumo there on the Chitoi, picks the correct weight and Sumos it, so congratulations to Chewy.
Yeah, now well played by him. Do not have logs or anything yet, so we can't pull those up, but yeah, at least the other game did finish here as well, so I'm just gonna pull that up while we just wait here. Not here, but here. The other points have been put in, so we can have a quick look at the standings. And yeah. Urasan with another fourth. has dropped them down below 100 points. Trying to see if nothing else significantly changed. I think the cutoff was about 270 last time, so it's still about the same. What we got? Jeff and Tat. Yeah.
Now, if Chewy in chat, because Chewy did have that nice Hanuman sumo at the very end to take first.
Welcome in, Chewy.
I put in the logs.
Got it. Yes, thank you.
So,
So, any thoughts on this Hanchan?
yeah, I think we can look at the very last hand, I guess. I think that's the most interesting.
Yep. Yep.
Look at that one first.
So this is where you started.
So yeah, I'm definitely still going for first, cause especially with this type of hand, when I'm Manzu heavy with Manzu Dora, I definitely think I'm going for first, which is why you see me like keep like the honors at the start.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go to the turn that I drop Manzu and commit to Cheeto actually.
That was.
I can kind of.
I think it was. Yeah.
Is this turn? Yeah.
Yeah.
The 4-pin, right? So I actually think the 4-pin is quite good because my upper dropped 2-pin, 5-pin early. My Toyman dropped some Pinzu early as well, and like my lower also dropped Pinzu early. So Pinzu might be good to pair. So I think that I'm not going to be able to get fed enough Manzu because the board is like everyone has Manzu as the strong suit likely because there's not many Manzu drops.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like I can't complete a Manzu honestly, so I have to go Cheetoy. So I just commit Cheetoy here because I think everyone is holding a lot of Manzu.
I mean, which you basically were right about. Yeah.
So and then we can I mean the hand kind of plays itself from here, but that was the big turning point I guess.
One turn to the 5-mon discard.
Oh yeah, when you got to here, yeah.
Do you
I
ever
just
get
think that
tempted to
it's
go
not-
for the toy? Okay, you just not even think about it.
Yeah, I think Toy is definitely too weak here. I somewhat doubt I can pawn the 6-9 mark. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's always going to be the choke point here. Even the 6-pin is going to be that easy.
I think 6-pin is actually quite easy, but I think 6-9 mine is very difficult. And yeah, and one copy of the payout.
So yeah, it's probably going to come out again. Yeah.
So I think it's definitely too slow, but I mean I do end up drawing the 9-mon.
Mm.
I think Cheetoy is also good because I'm actually holding 2 good Cheetoy powers, or technically 3. All 3 of the
Yeah, all 3 of
isolated
these are
powers
really good at this point.
good. I don't really want to give up any of them. Even the 4-pin I think is very good. So I don't want to give up the 4-pin either. So I insta discard the 5-pin.
Yeah.
And it's also Ishan 10. If I go Toy, it will be even slower.
Yeah, it'd be definitely slower. Last thing is between the final weight, you had 1 cut Hatsu versus 1 cut Tone. Why did you choose the Hatsu?
So it's based on the discard order of the Ton and Hatsu. So I actually thought about it. Like, if Ton comes out after, it's like very, very slightly more likely that it's like it's very slightly, I guess, more safe into the Toyman. But like it doesn't really matter, I think. Yeah, and also the I think it's pretty much the same, I guess. Like,
No, you
I don't
certainly
really
picked
know.
right
Like,
because
I was thinking, I was really looking for a reason because they look very similar. But
Mm.
yeah,
well, Jaffa had the pair of the East, so that wasn't coming out. So it's definitely the correct weight.
yeah. Obviously, the other thing is if someone throws the East early, they could still be a pair of East in someone's hand where they can't pawn it. So that's definitely that way down.
Yeah, I
just
can.
felt like it was,
Yeah.
like, slightly better.
There were a whole bunch of sumos in this game. What were you thinking, especially early on?
Yeah, I feel like I just played it normally, I guess, I didn't really. I know I tend to. I actually melded quite a bit this game because I was relatively ahead in points and like I was even very close to first place or very close to second place. So I melded for. Yeah, and then until that very last hand where I felt like in general, I just think she can make expensive. It's normal, I guess.
Well, it worked out. Congratulations. Nice big win here. Coming back in the last hand with that Hanchans sumo.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done to you and your team. I mean, you've had an amazing season, and yeah, you just sort of extended it out.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely having a good run. I hope we can carry our points over into the finals. And thanks for the stream.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for the games.
Right, see you.
Alrighty, so yeah, after that, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So, yeah, so after the first week, yeah, as I was sort of just saying before, the cutoff still sits about 270. Really, the situation hasn't changed too much other than Urasan dropping out of the top 6, where they were sort of fighting up there at the start, but now they're quite a bit far back, almost as far back as Judy Star Fan Club. A lot of work to be done for these teams in the second half of the top 8.
It really feels like now you have two that are also pulling away at the top. Throne de Verone and AUNSW just way out in front. So it feels like 4 teams fighting for 2 spots at this point.
Yeah, the chances for either Urasan or Uni Fan Club to come back is pretty rough. But I hope they do show up in the next 2 games and give it their best shots.
It's not over until the last game ends. You can always run up the score. And with that Oka, that's how you close the gap quickly.
Exactly, yeah. All right, well, thanks for coming out, everybody. I appreciated having it. Thanks to Corak for his excellent commentary.
Thanks, Veggie. It's been nice working with you.
Very nice working with you too. We'll be back next week with the second half. Hope to see you there, and I hope everyone has a good rest of your day.